we are going to go through searching in CMA, and this is what we're going to cover. We're going to go through our quick search. I do like showing you guys the differences between quick and standard searches, and just some tricks on how they're utilized. I do briefly like going through all of the advanced searches. So I want to take you through and just show you some of the nuances of all of our advanced searches. And then I jump into the interactive map. I really like that. It's one of my favorite searches to go through all your different CMA options you have within Prospector Plus. So I'm going to show those to you today. We're going to go ahead and jump into them, and I'm going to walk you through the whole process. All right, so I'm already logged in, and so we're going to flip over here. So give me 1 second, and you can see here I am on the the MLS dashboard. So what I want to do here is I'm going to go ahead, and for today we're going to access Prospector Plus right here under MLS Essentials, and this is what we're going to be using for this particular class today. All right, so let me go ahead and click on that, and we're going to launch the program. So once I'm in here, let's start going through, and again, I'm going to show you the differences between our quick and our standard search. So let's jump in. And again, this is something I always get questions on. So here, if I go into our quick search, let me show you. So I'm going to click on searches, and I'm going to go into quick, and this is a really frequently used search in the MLS. So here, I'm going to click on that, and the reason it is called quick is because it's straightforward, to the point. So you're going to see here property types, subtypes, we have statuses, special listing conditions, area and districts, price, year built, beds, baths, garage spaces, living area, lot size. You can see include only listings with pictures, buyer financing, occupant type. So just like any other search in the MLS, you can actually come in here and save that. That's that little 3.5-inch floppy disk right here in between statistics and prospecting. One tip I always give: saving searches saves you time. Over the course of my over a decade of teaching, one thing I've had a lot of you do is come back with, and you tell me there's these searches that you run consistently. So absolutely suggest saving those key searches that you like to utilize for your clientele. Okay, or for yourself to kind of watch the market. Now, if I go here to standard search, let me show you this. So I'm going to click on standard, and let's take a peek at that one. And so here is the major differences between the quick and standard. Well, you notice at first glance, it looks identical. So how do we tell them apart? It's right here. It says standard search. You'll see I highlighted that in the upper left-hand corner. Some other things you will notice is they do have some similar qualities or features. You'll see property types and subtypes, statuses, special listing conditions, but you're going to notice right down here after we get past lot size, now not only can you search by areas or area and districts, you can search by city or zip codes or subdivision. One thing I do get asked about this subdivisions field quite frequently, and I wanna explain this one, just again as a general MLS tip. Subdivisions are not a required field for listing input. So if you are searching by this field, you might not be seeing everything in that subdivision. Sometimes the names get misspelled, sometimes they get left off of listings, and it's usually just an innocent oversight because there is so much detail to input on a listing when you're inputting your listing into the MLS. So my suggestion, my tip here is to absolutely use the interactive map search and draw around that subdivision. I promise each and every one of you, you will find more listings in that desired subdivision that way. Okay, and that could be a great saved search. You could search by counties or school districts. You'll see below here, this is status date or change date on a listing. You'll see structure, so this is the price per square foot, or you can see lot size, price per square foot or acre. You can also see here listing agent or buyer's agent ID. You can actually search by either of those IDs, and there's a little lookup icon right here to the right of each of these fields, or even listing office and buyer office ID. I love the public remarks. Guess what? You can search for things like fixer or view Remember, these are the distinguishing features you guys type in into the remarks that go to the public. So this makes this a very searchable field. That's kind of again, an advanced searching tip. My suggestion is search for all of those buzzwords or keywords that, for instance, means fixer. Like if I do fix, as is, TLC, those are ones you commonly use. I've seen lots of others write contractor's dream. I love that one. Handyman special, bring your tool belt. So you absolutely can leverage those fields. And so I love kind of sharing that tip with you, but really anything. It could be, you know, any horse property, properties with views, you know, anything to that effect, any certain amenity that you're looking for, quality, absolutely leverage that field for searching. You could even search private remarks. You'll see photo provided by, buyer financing. So many more fields in your standard search form. I will share with you, less is more when you're searching, whether you're doing a CMA or you're searching for buyers or sellers. You guys, the less you put in on a search form, the more you're going to get back as far as search results go. So keep that in mind when you are searching. One last little tip about searching the standard search form, or really it applies to any search form. As I speak to agents, a lot of agents, you know, will tell me that, or they'll come in here and they go, oh, okay, well, I'm going to put 3 to 4. Hey, you know what? You're kind of capping bedrooms. What if you want to just find 3 on up? A lot of agents think they have to put a range in for square footage or garage spaces. You definitely do not have to. Hey, and let me actually share an example of something that just happened the other day. I had an agent, and I want to just put this in your mind. I had an agent, and her client, she was searching for 700,000 on up. There's certain amenities and qualities, and she said, you know, the weird thing is, Melissa, when I was doing a search, you know, my client was telling me, hey, there's this property, but when I was doing the search based on our parameters, I wasn't pulling up that property. Well, guess what? That property was 689. And the agent was searching for 700,000 on up. So maybe sometimes with price point, even put a little bit of wiggle room in there. You know, there's properties that, you know, have decreases or whatnot, and maybe they did fit with the initial, you know, range of your criteria, and then they maybe modified a bit. So that's something to keep in mind as you're searching the MLS. Okay, same thing here. You have your save options, absolutely, and you can save whatever you type in as a save search. Now, also something to notate and get familiar with. Remember, every search has additional criteria. These are additional qualities or amenities you can add in to enhance your searches. So, you know, if I want to go ahead and I want to designate and search for horse property, I absolutely can. Parking features, if I want to scroll down, I'm just going to show you a few here. If I want to go down here and maybe RV access, you know, I want to include that. I need to include that on a search. I absolutely can. Subtype description, this is another one. Look at attached, custom, you know, live, work. You can see here, so on and so forth. You have lots of different accessibility and criteria to search by here. And I suggest looking through these. There are over 100, and so find the ones that you know you're going to leverage for your clients and what your clientele's needs. So really get familiar with this page because it absolutely can enhance your searches, help you narrow down what you're looking for, and find your client their desired property, hands down. One little thing about additional criteria I want to show you here. If you have more than one property type checked, I want you to see here additional criteria grays out. I'll be absolutely honest with you. When I first started teaching for the MLS all those years ago, that was one mistake I actually made. And here's why, is because there's different additional criteria for residential property than there is for land, and hence the reason you can't go into it. So it's a common mistake, common error. I made it. You'll also notice if you don't have any property types checked, that also grays out. So again, another common error that I see when I'm assisting agents. So just wanted to point some of those little nuances out. Now let's go into some of the advanced searches. And I'm gonna share with you why I love them so much. Your custom search is absolutely awesome. And let me show or share with you why. So you're gonna come in here, you'll go to searches, and I'm gonna click on custom. And it sounds exactly like what it is. It is a custom search form that you can revise. You can make your own. So why is that so important? Well, over the course of your searching experience in our system, you are definitely and absolutely going to have fields that you love to use, and maybe some fields that you do not like to use while you're searching. What you can do is streamline your search form here. Make it conducive for your type of clientele, and it's going to make you quicker with searching and finding what you're looking for. So let me show you how to do that. So this is one of the very only search forms in this format that you can actually come up here to the upper right-hand side of the screen and revise that custom search setup. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click here, and I want to show you what that looks like. Okay, so you're going to see all the available fields. These are all the fields here you have to add over to your right here. And exactly as these show from top to bottom here is exactly as they will show from top to bottom when you go back to that search form. Now, couple little extra things here. You will have to customize general. You'll have to click save. Then you can go in and customize even the additional criteria tab. And just to give you a little bit of an inkling as to how many fields you actually can add to just a general search form, there are 47. So think of the benefits it would absolutely add to what you do in the system if you narrowed that down to what you exactly used for searching. So let's say, and I'm going to make this a little bit odd just to show you what you can do. So let's say hypothetically, when I come into a search form, I always want to plug in price first because, we always are discussing price, what my clients qualified for. So then look at what I do. I put in price and then areas and districts and property types. You'll see here, this is the square footage, beds and baths, garage spaces, and maybe I go, okay, well, you know what, I'm going to take off subdivision. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that here. Okay, so I can move whatever I would like up or down, put them in the correct order for me, and you can see here what I have on this particular form. Okay, so I have 22 fields. If there is anything that I ever want to come and add, I absolutely can right from here. So I can come in here and choose anything, and I can, again, add it to the right. We're going to leave it as is for today. So I'm going to go ahead and click save, and you'll see your changes have been saved. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to additional. So now we're going to click on this tab here, and I can also customize my additional criteria tab and page. This is absolutely important too. I want to share with you. For residential property, there are 159 searching fields in additional criteria. That's a lot of scrolling. And a lot of you will tell me, hey, that's way more than I ever use for my own searches. So those agents come in here, again, kind of streamline it, and it makes it much, much faster for them to utilize and pull up properties, again, that their clients are desiring. So here, if I come over, you're going to see these are all of the qualities or amenities that you absolutely can add. Okay, so if I want to go ahead and maybe I go here and I go, okay, well, you know what, sometimes I use this appliances search field. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to click and I'm going to add it right here, and you can see it just plugged in to the right. Now I can move that up or down. And another beautiful thing is you can absolutely put these in the order of how often you use them. You go, okay, stories is a big one. I'm using that frequently. Pool, definitely. RV access under parking features. So you'll see here, I can add just the fields that, again, are my favorites. So again, I added that one here. There are many more. I only have 26. You guys have 159 today. Okay, so please take a peek at these. Now, if I go ahead and again, I click save, it has saved both general and additional. As you can see here, I'm just circling that with my cursor at the upper left. Now let's go back to the custom search. So if I click on that here, you're going to absolutely see, look at the prices at the top. I know it's a little weird. It's not what you're used to seeing, but I just want to show you the flexibility of what you can do with these forms. I have the area, price, here are all the fields. One thing I want to also point out, a lot of these searches have unique fields tied to them. Like, look, I can add a radius search field here, or I can add a listing number search field. So any of those unique fields that any of the advanced searches have, you can also incorporate into the custom search. Now look at additional criteria. Now I'm, maybe have just a slight scroll. I'm not scrolling and scrolling and scrolling as I would if I accessed, all 100+ fields that you have to search for in addition, in additional criteria. So, you customize the form, and let's say you plugged in a search here for your great client, Melissa. You can always come in here and save that again later on. Remember, anything you save is going to be under saved searches. All right, let's go down the list here a bit more. Radius search. And why do I like the radius search, and what are the benefits? Okay, when I ask a question on radius search, and I always ask, okay, so what do you guys use radius search for? And you know what the number one answer is? CMA, right? And it makes sense because look, we can do a radius, anywhere from 1/4 mile to 1/2 or 3/4 or all the way out to 20 miles. Now this address doesn't necessarily have to be a subject property, but we could plug in the subject property here, and we could plug in the qualities and amenities. And instead of putting in an MLS area, it's using this field to find properties within that radius of whatever address, listing number, or assessor parcel number that I plug in. What I like to challenge you guys with is, well, thinking a little outside the box. And I'm going to give you some scenarios that your peers have given me over the years and how they utilize the radius search. So I've had some agents that go, well, I had a doctor that was on call and they couldn't live any more than 1/4 mile from their office or hospital. Perfect. They did 1/4 mile, they ran a search, they found the property. Maybe you have a client that doesn't want to live any more than 1/2 mile from, it could be an assisted living facility, a dialysis center, could be a private school, a daycare. Maybe your client doesn't want to live any more than, 3/4 of a mile from their house of worship. Absolutely, that's been a scenario here multiple times. Maybe your client doesn't want to live any more than 1 mile from their family member. Maybe there's a family member they're assisting or helping out, or they just want to be close to their family. Absolutely, you can plug that in. So I think that's amazing. Another one I see is, you guys will come to me and you go, hey, my clients don't want to live any more than a 5-mile radius from where they work. So that is also another option that you have on here. So a few more options than you have just pointing this towards doing a CMA. And again, I always share this with agents. Hey, if you have a client that has like a caffeine addiction, they love Starbucks or Pete's or Dutch Bros, or whatever the case may be, you could absolutely put that address in here and search around that coffee shop and find them a property walking distance. There you go. So so here again, once I plug in criteria, because below this is a full standard search, I can absolutely come in and I can save that. And I can save that as a saved search and run it whenever I'd like. So if that was, maybe my great client Frank's, where, I want to search around where he works, I could save that. And then again, I don't have to type in that criteria over and over and over. And it is a question I get a lot. If I save a search, will it update? Absolutely. If you don't put any dates in active, it's going to find you anything from 10 seconds on the market to 6 years on the market, as long as it's still in an active status. So don't be afraid of saving, you guys. It will update for you. All right, a few more, just going down the list here. I love this one as well. It's an address search, and sometimes we absolutely need to leverage that. I'll show you something here. So 8904. What if I was to call any one of you and I said, hey, you know what, I was driving around and I said, I found my perfect home on 8904. Can't remember the street name, to save my life. So this is what you could do. You could just put in a partial, you could put in a house number, and look, there are 132. So that's, and believe you me, there are thousands and thousands of listings in here. And watch this, if I even just choose active, and I can do a preview count, look, there's nothing. Maybe I do hold or pending, and I can do another preview count. Okay, so it looks like everything with that house number was already closed. So maybe the you know, the agent didn't, you know, didn't put the rider up, or maybe they just took the rider, the sold rider down, and, you know, they're getting ready to remove the sign. So that will really, really assist you when trying to find a home by street number. Now, I'm going to show you how to take a really difficult search and make it something absolutely usable. So let me show you here. I bet you would agree Oak is a prolific street name, right, in real estate. So is Pine, depending upon what county. So if I search by Oak, let me show you how many properties, and I'm going to do contains, are in the MLS that are residential that have the street name Oak. So look at this. 84,419. If you started that search, would you maybe close out? You're like, that's so many properties. And I want to show you how to make this usable. So let's say we know it's in Sacramento. So here, I'm going to go ahead and type in the city Sacramento. And if I do another preview count, and you'll see now that narrows us down to 2,774 properties. Now, I don't know if that house is a condo, if it's two houses on a lot or whatnot, but what I can do is I go, okay, well, it could be active, it could be temporarily off the market, it could be pending, right? It could have closed recently. Now, closed, when you select, it goes 6 months back. So let's make it a little closer to now. So let's just say, how about we do from the 1st of this month. So I'm just manually over typing this. Of course, I could click on the calendar and pick the date as well if I wanted to. Okay, and I'm not going to plug in anything else. And let's go ahead and do preview count. Look at 14 listings with a really, really, again, prolific street name. So if I go here and view results, look at this. So you're going to see here Woodridge, Oakway. I can see here. Hopefully it's this one for 1.3 million, right? You can see Fair Oaks Boulevard, or maybe this one for 2.28. So you're gonna see here Sierra Oaks. But ultimately what I could do, you guys, is I could send that to my client, say, hey, which one was it? When would you like to go see it? I could email that out right to my great client. Of course, I could save this as a saved search and revisit whenever I would like to. Now, I want to show you something else that I find very, very helpful. I have agents that will come to me and they go, hey, you know what? I have a client that loved, you know, 4 or 5 of these particular streets, or maybe even more within a subdivision that we drove through. Can I search just by street name in that subdivision? Absolutely, you can. And, you know, I get a lot of questions. Well, can I only search by one street name at a time? No, you can actually search for up to 10 at a time. This is little in blue, it gets overlooked. You'll see here it says additional addresses right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that and let's take a peek. So you're going to see here, I can have up to, we get 10 addresses. So if I had Oak and I want Pine and Cedar and Willow, you know, and Ash, I can absolutely do that. One thing I will suggest, you know, even if you think it's the 1,000 block through the 3,000 block of Pine, I would leave that off. Less, again, is more. Just put in some general criteria and you'll be more successful at finding what you're looking for. I would save that. If I had a search like that, I would absolutely save it, and that way I don't have to type in all those street names over and over and over again. All right, just a few more, and we're going to jump into the CMA. This one's very straightforward. It's called listing number. So you guys, I can fill in multiple listing numbers separated by commas, or I can put them in the individual spaces here. The only thing I would tell you is if you're wanting these to pull up exactly as you've typed them in, then all you need to do is click here, sort results as entered. Otherwise, it will sort them numerically. So just keep that in mind when you're utilizing the listing number search. But I love this one. It's a fantastic search. You could even save this one if you chose to. Now, last of your advanced searches is assessor parcel number. Now, this is one of the least used searches in the MLS because it's not very frequent. Our clients start walking up to us and start rattling off, you know, assessor parcel numbers, right? So, but if I did have an APN, I could type it in here. You guys, I can put multiple APNs in here. You can separate them by commas, no spaces, as you can see here with the example that I just pulled up. Select the county, pick your property type, run your search. Okay, assessor personal numbers are pretty specific, so I would not suggest plugging in a ton of criteria. Okay, usually when I see you guys get these, it's your client, there's maybe a big lot for sale, and it has, on the for sale sign, it has the assessor personal number instead of the address, and they want you to do some research from co-agents. I've seen you get these in absolutely title companies, so that's when this would come in handy. Now, what this is going to pull up is it's going to pull up the listing in the MLS that has that APN embedded within the listing detail. Now, if you're just strictly searching for tax records, let me give you a little tip. I would jump right into tax. I would not utilize this search. So if you're just looking for tax records, absolutely go into Realist and check out tax for me. All right, I'm going to give you two little bonus searches here really quickly. So we're outside of the advanced searches, but there is an open house search. So I love this. Any of you that can add a listing into the MLS can add your open house dates, times, comments. Those not only come here, but they also go to our public facing website. So here, if I click on open house, let me show you what they look like when you search for them. So you'll see here, it will allow you to search by a 15 date range. And let's say I'm looking for residential, single family residence, active, and I'll search today. Let's go ahead and search Sacramento County. I'm going to search all areas. And let's see, in Sac County, there are 252 open houses in the next 15 days. I absolutely can check out some other counties here. Okay, so if I come here and we want to see, okay, how many open houses are there in Placer County? I'm going to check all and click OK. And again, the next 15 days, there's 110, as you can see here. Now, you, of course, could add price or bedrooms or bathrooms. You can add more parameters as you choose. Once you're done, you can go ahead and click search. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click search. And you're going to see here are the open house date and time. If you ever see a property in here that is more than once, and it's usually because they're holding the house open on 2 separate dates, like this one was above earlier, okay? But you can see here, comments, directions of the property, time, who it's hosted by, so on and so forth. And it's great. So again, I can go ahead and save this. Hey, I can even send this out as a schedule if I'd like. So if I click here and I name this, you know, Melissa's open house search, and I went to more, look at this. I can send this off as a daily scheduled email, or I can go ahead and I can send that even weekly as I'd like. It does give you a warning. This search uses preserve dates option for its date range criteria, which may cause a schedule searches to run outdated results or no results. So what I may want to do, and I'm going to show you how to rectify that, is I might have to modify that when I go to revise criteria. But yeah, if I decided, okay, I want my clients to see this open house list every, you know, Sunday and Monday, or maybe every Thursday and Friday, you know, before the weekend hits, I absolutely can. I can give the subject a name. I can even decide how long it runs for and the time of day it goes out. So maybe I want to go, okay, I want this to go first thing in the morning. So I'm going to go ahead and pick 7:35. And I can send this to my client. Okay, I can click save. It automatically, I can send it to myself. Now, if I want to ensure that, you know, that's going to update and the preserved dates is not going to affect that schedule, I can come back here to revise criteria. Okay, so here I can hit adjust automatically, and that way it's not going to, you know, just run from that particular date and time that I had set earlier. So that's what that means. If I preserve dates, it's just looking from this date and time. If I adjust automatically, it's always just going to give them the next 15 days out of open houses. So again, you could even set that up for yourself or a client. I love it. All right, last bonus. You have an agent and office search. I'm going to click on this right here. So if I need to pull up an agent, here the last name, or I would put their last name, first initial, their first name, and you can pull them right up. This is what an agent profile looks like from within the system. So I am not an agent, you guys, but I do have a profile. So here you go. Are you ready? I have my agent photo ready for you. Lovely Miss Audrey Hepburn. Hey, my name and all my information. Hey, she's been with me from the beginning. I love her. I'm not an agent. I have a little fun with it. We would like a picture or photo of you in here. But you can see here my address if you need to get a phone number, email address. It's lovely. Again, you can also come in here and you can search for an office, and you have all kinds of abilities to search by not only name, but maybe you just have an email address or phone number. You can retrieve someone that way. I've absolutely been able to do that. Again, or the office search, maybe you just have the street address or the phone number. There you go, and you can pull up what you're looking for. All right, so those are advanced searches. Quick and standard, custom, your radius search, address, listing number, APN, and then the two bonuses, open house and agent and office. All right, so let's jump into the interactive map, and I want to go into the CMA portion of this. Okay, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to click on the interactive map. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and use an address, and some of you may be familiar with this. So let me show you. It is 2003 Howe Avenue. Now, this is the Sacramento Association of Realtors. I've been using it since I first started teaching for the MLS. It's almost kind of become my farm, if you will. Okay, so right off the bat, you're seeing it's saying, well, Melissa, you can add a radius here if you'd like. And I want to show you something here. And this is exactly why I use this map search instead of the radius. Imagine if I was using the radius and I was putting that I want to search a mile radius. Guess what I'm not seeing with the radius search, because I'm just running that search off of a form. I'm not seeing that this is crossing over the freeway. I'm not seeing that maybe it's going into other neighborhoods that might not be so conducive for my CMA. So I love using the map search because you can get much more specific. And again, you can get, you can do better searches or find better comps more quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and let's get rid of that radius. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click edit here. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to delete that shape. So I'm going to do just that. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click draw. And I think today I'm going to go ahead and use the polygon. And you'll see when I put my cursor over it, it says draw a polygon on the map. So click on the map to plot polygon points, then click the starting point to complete the shape. Perfect. So I'll do 80 in Arden. Okay, I have 80 in El Camino, El Camino to Howe to Alta Arden to Arden, and I have to start and end at the same place I started from. So here is, let's say, my area that I want to run comps in. Now, right now, I only have 3 properties mapped. And how do I know that? Because it's telling me that right here. Now, how is it determining that I already have 3? Well, because I have my criteria to set up to automatically pull up residential and active properties. But let's say we want to add a bit more criteria to this. Okay, so let's say I want to add some actives. Let's go ahead and add the pendings, and I'm going to do closed. And you can see closed is just going a few months back. Now, if I click on statuses and dates again, it actually closes that, so I don't have to scroll as much for using this search pane here. Now here, you'll see I have 29 mapped. And that's a small enough number. I could go in and run my search, but maybe I want to narrow it down a bit more. I will give you a little fun fact about this area. There are a lot of small square footage bedroom or homes here that have 4 bedrooms. So you'll notice that when I'm looking through the comps. So I could ultimately go, okay, well, I want to look through 4 bedrooms because those are pretty unique. So 4 on up and look at 19. Or I could have narrowed that down by square footage. You know, maybe I want to pull up properties that are 200 square feet below and above my subject property. Let's say hypothetically SAR is 1,200 square feet. So I can do 1,000 to 1,400. And I've talked to appraisers, brokers, and agents, and that's a pretty standard range. Now, I pull up almost as many as I did earlier. I pull up 18. So let's take a peek at those. Now, just a little disclaimer. I'm not going to do a perfect CMA today, you guys. I'm going to walk through steps and show you best practices. So let's go ahead and from here, what I can do is I just close out of that search criteria. I can go here and, well, before we go to displays, I can show results. Now I have my results hidden, and that is also a default I set up in my system. The reason I have that hidden is, well, I like to be able to draw before I reveal all the results. Sometimes you pull up these maps and you see all like hundreds or thousands of listings. It's hard to see streets or cross streets or city names. So I keep those hidden until I'm ready to view them. So let's go ahead and go to displays, and we're going to go to the one line grid. I do get asked about this a lot. I get a lot of agents that go, hey, I don't see a search button up here. So like I normally do. So you go to displays, and this is how you get to your search results page off of your interactive map. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. All right, so we have a few that are active. We have some pending, and we have some closed. So I'm going to pick a healthy combination of all the statuses here. Okay, so, and you can see here, I want to show this to you, so you know, look at, we have a 4-bedroom home, just a little over 1,000 square feet. 4-bedroom home, a little over, so this one's 1121. So again, pretty common thing in this particular area. So let's go ahead and choose or select our comps. Now I would be looking at these in a little more detail than I am today, but again, just for training and time purposes, we're gonna take a peek at these and go a little more quickly. You know, I get a lot of agents that ask me, how many comps do I need to select? You know, I see agents select 3, 6, 9. At the end of the day, it's whatever you need to justify offer or list price. If that's, you know, 3 really amazing comps, great. If that's 9, fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down a little bit further. Okay, and I'm going to pick 2 more. So today I'm going to choose 6. So the very next step is we're going to go into CMA. If you're wondering how I know if I have 6 checked, I want to point up here just a little tip. You always see how many properties you have selected here at the upper right-hand corner, which I love. Sometimes I don't realize I've checked a whole page here and I have 66 now, you know, so that's a really neat little tool and it's helped me. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and click CMA, and I'm going to walk you through some of the various reports, including the package. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click CMA here. And these two are identical, by the way. One is just, this is page orientation. So I am only going to show you one of these. So let's look at the CMA portrait. And I'm going to click go here. It's the upper left-hand corner. So let's zoom in here a little bit. So you're going to see here, I have all of the information here. And this is just showing, if I'm presenting this to my client, just showing them what criteria I used to pull up comps with, which is really powerful. Then I can read from, you know, you can see from left to right, address, city, beds, bath, square footage, so on and so forth. Okay, you can see the high, the low, and the median for each property type. Now, as I scroll down, you're going to see here, and this is pretty powerful, you're going to see closing to list price percentage. I can see they're receiving a little bit over list price by closing. So they average out to 100.66% of list price is what these guys are getting. And you know what? It's not abstract for this area. I've seen most everything at least get 100% of list price. Not everything, but probably I would say a good 95% to, if not over list price. And that's been pretty steady, I would say, probably the last 8 to 10 years. It's really interesting if you go back and you look at this area. There was a point in time where some of these properties during the short sale market were going for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, and to me, it's amazing to see things at $400,000. It's incredible. If you ever get a chance, check out the history. It's really fascinating. All right, I'm going to close out of this. Beautiful thing is, it's going to take me right back to my search results page. So let's check out another CMA. So for a second time, I'm going to click on CMA, upper left, and I'm going to scroll down here and let's do that CMA 2-line. Okay, I'm going to click on that and I'm going to click go. Now this is very much like the one I just showed you. However, instead of reading these from left to right, you will read them from, you can see here, top to bottom. So address and listing number. So I can see address and listing number. Some of you guys like this for your own reasons because it incorporates the listing number on the report. Not a lot of you will tell me I don't share this with the client because they have a hard time. They want to read from left to right, not up and down. Like you can see city and zip code, city and zip code. Okay. So you can see there's a lot of the same amenities or qualities. This one just has a listing number, a little bit more detail than the portrait and landscape CMA. But again, just like the previous one, you can see here at the bottom, it's going to give us a summary, the report averages. You can see average 15 days on market. I can see average original, list price, and closing price for those properties I have listed right now. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is one of the most popular. It's called the 3-up comparison. So again, we're going to come here to the upper left and we're going to click CMA. Okay, and from there, I'm going to show you one that a lot of you just are really fond of. So I'm going to go here to 3-up comparison. I'm going to click go. And again, go is in the upper left-hand corner. Okay, and so why you guys like this one so much? Well, photos. As a society, we are very visual, right? So we see these photos. Another reason why this is a really desired format is because look at, we can compare and contrast all the way across, right? It makes it very easy to kind of see here if I want to go, okay, I'm going to look at price point here across the board. Okay, I can look at square footage, so on and so forth. It absolutely is a great report. Now at the bottom, look at that lovely Miss Audrey Hepburn, my name and all my information. You're even seeing here adds my company information in here. That is, and of course this would show for you if your broker just added that information for you as well. Okay, so I love it. And then here's the second one. This works really well with 3, 6, or 9 properties because it is a 3-up. All right, so the next thing I'm going to walk you through is the package. Now, this actually incorporates a lot of the reports I just showed you, but there's a lot of great customization to it as well that I really want to share with you today. So we are going to, let's hypothetically pretend that 2003 is, how about 1928? Or actually, let's do a different one here. I'm going to do another 4-bedroom. 2041 Waterford Road. Okay, and why am I choosing that? Well, the reason why, you guys, is I want to show you if the property is, obviously, if this is a CMA for a buyer, it's going to be active. You can copy the listing number and it will complete a whole page of information for you. However, if this is for a seller, do some research. See if this property was previously listed. You could do the same thing with copying the listing number, pasting it into the CMA package, and it will populate a whole page of information for you. So again, let's hypothetically say I came in here, I did an address search, and I pulled this up, copied the listing number, and we're good to go now. Okay, so I'm going to click CMA, and this is the CMA package. This is what we're going to walk through next. Okay, again, for the last time here, I'm going to click go, upper left. And it's going to say, hey, let's get started. So I can create a new contact, or I can select an existing contact if I want. So we will create a new. So I can create a contact name. Let's say I create this. This is Sam Seller. And let's say today, this is a seller. I can go ahead and I can put 20, I think it was 2041. Okay, and I would put city, state, whatever you fill in here will show on your CMA package, so keep that in mind. Okay, now your client will have to at least go in one group. So I'm going to go here, and these are some groups that I created previously. So let's just go ahead and put them in a group called CMAs. Groups are a virtual file folder you'll shuffle your clients into. A lot of us use them for auto prospecting, that automated email system for searching. Now I can go ahead and plug my client's email in here today. Now it looks just like mine. I'm my own worst or best client, however you want to look at it. And again, I could plug in more detail as I chose to. Notes are private, your clients will see that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click save here, and it's going to apply that information. So that's your step one. So this is kind of like a wizard. Now this is step two here. You're going to see I am going to, so step two is field. So I have Sam here, and I'm going to add fields. These are fields that I am going to use to compare my subject property to my comps with. They initially have a pretty good little list of fields. Okay. You know, I get agents asking me all the time, what would you plug in here? And you know what I tell them? I say, you know what I would do is I would print up that three-up comparison. I love the way that's laid out. And then I would use that as a cheat sheet to build this out even further, if you'd like. So if I did want to move anything over, I absolutely could. If I want to move over approximate square footage, I can click add here, and you're going to see it adds it to the bottom. And then I could drag this up, and I could place that wherever I would like. Okay. If I want to add a custom field, a view can absolutely add value to a home, right? So maybe this property has a view. I can click save, and that field is not over here. So look at this. I have view here down below. So again, I just created my perfect list of fields for comparison. Now I can save this as a default, meaning anytime I come in here, this is my perfect field list. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the next step, which is subject property. So that's step number 2. So look at this. I can load an existing. So that is I'm going to use the MLS number I grabbed earlier. So use an existing MLS listing as your subject property, or enter new. Add new information as your subject property. So I'm going to click here. And I'm going to grab that and paste that listing number that I captured earlier. So I'm going to get that information. And here we go. 2041 Waterford Road. And I can see that's Sacramento. Here are all of the fields. Now, I might want to double check this. And let's say this one has a view. I'm going to type yes in. All of this information is going to pull through to step number 2. I can always validate the address. Now, here's the thing. If you did not have, you could not find the listing, you will have to put this in by hand. You have to upload the photo, plug in the criteria here, and you'll get the features probably from tax records or your client or what you've seen yourself visually, and you can plug that in. Now, step 3 is adjustments right here. So this allows us to compare our subject property to our comps. So I can make a negative or a positive monetary adjustment. What do I see agents adjusting for? Well, if there's a bedroom discrepancy, sometimes we're adjusting for that. Maybe our subject property has or doesn't have a pool, but this one does, so it makes it worth, X amount more. For legal reasons, I can't make adjustments. I would talk to your office manager or broker or peer to see how they adjust properties. I will tell you from my experience, I have a lot of agents that leave these zeros and they use the discrepancies as talking points. So if this one had a view, this one yes, this one is a no, and I can say that's why this home is valued for X amount more, because this view is pretty spectacular, special, right? Now I could go through each one of these if I click here, and you can see it changes. So if I go here, this is 1956 Waterford, and I can make adjustments for each of these properties. Now, once I'm done going through each and every one, and if I choose to make adjustments, I can go to the analysis section. So this allows me to put in a suggested price or range here, and it's pretty fantastic here because you're going to see a minimum, an average, a median, and a maximum dollar value. If I need to go through here and I need to, move these around, I absolutely can. You'll see here the little double-sided arrow. I can move these in whatever order I want them to display in, and maybe I do want it, active, pending, and closed. And look at here, I just shifted those. Oops, need to move that one down. There we go. Okay. Now, if one of these doesn't factor in so well, you're going to see a little trash can here. Maybe the property next door came on the market 3 doors down, same floor plan, same condition. I can always, eliminate that and add, look at this, I can add a comparable later on. Okay. Now, the final step is a simple package. So you're going to see here, this is a cover page, a cover letter, statistics, agent resume, office resume. Now, unless you've created the net sheet, it will not allow you to do a print preview. I'll actually show you. But anything that says revise or create that you include here, make sure you go in and revise or create. Otherwise, it leaves a big blank space in your CMA. But watch this. If I do print preview, missing estimated net proceeds worksheet. A lot of you have your own net sheet program, or your title company does that, which is beautiful. You do not have to incorporate or use this one. So I'm going to click remove here. Now, guess what else I can do? This was enhanced within the last year. I can add my own document. So if I have a net sheet and I have that saved on my computer, I can add that in and make the CMA my own, which I love. I couldn't do that before. Something else I can do is if I like some of the MetroList reports, I can also add those. So you're going to see here, maybe I want to add that 3-up comparison. I really love that 3-up. I can add, maybe I want to add also a one-line report. So any of our reports that we have within the MLS, you can also add, and you can see I saved those to my, my CMA now. Okay. So here, and you know what, maybe I'm going to move the office resume and an agent resume down. So let's go in and print preview this and take a peek at what it looks like. So here is my comparative market analysis. You can see here prepared Friday, I can see it's prepared for Sam, and I can even see the suggested sale price. I can see Audrey here with her information. So here I am as the agent again, and it gives a little disclaimer right here. Okay. Now this would be your cover letter, and I didn't revise mine, so you can see it's, well, absolutely blank. Now this looks a lot like the 3-up comparison, but it would incorporate the adjustments if you had included them right here. Okay, so here down below, let me go ahead and erase that. You would see here, if there had been any adjustments, it would say, average total. So it would tell you all the average adjustments here and the totals. Now here's the second 3, and you can see them all side by side. Here's some statistical charts. It's just showing the percentage of you guys. You're going to see of active, depending, sold, if there's any other statuses you've been incorporated, minimum, average, maximum square feet to beds and baths, which they're all pretty standard across the board. I can see, minimum, average, maximum days on market, and I can see everything that's sold within 0 to 30 days received 100% of list price. Okay, so if I scroll down here a bit further, okay, selling price or listing price, selling price, and I can see that 100%, 0 to 30 days. I love the map report. Here's the reason why. It shows where the subject property is and the comps in relation. That's so powerful, you guys, as you're, going through these comps and sharing them with your clients. Here are all the properties, active, pending, and closed. Now, as I scroll down, remember I told you I added that one-line report. Maybe this is just for me, okay? And then here is the resume. I can see the office bio. There we go, okay? Now, if I close out of this, and you know what, maybe I close up shop for today. Where am I gonna find Sam Seller now? Well, let me show you. So if I go under contacts and prospects, I saved Sam to a group that's within contacts. So that group is something I created on my own. And if you ever want to make your own groups, you guys, you can come in here and make as many as you'd like. It's under manage groups. But here I added Sam under the group CMAs. Now the beautiful thing about it, you can see here's Sam. And now I want to point this out, it's small, so I'm going to highlight it. This is actually a hyperlink to that CMA we just created. So if I want to get right back to it, I can click CMA and look at that. It actually takes me back to the analysis step, and here's the reason why. It's assuming maybe you want to delete or add a comparable listing before you go to assembly. But let's say I do make modifications, I maybe want to come in and add another report. Now what I can do is once I'm done adding documents, I can go ahead and email or print that out for my client. So it will always be stored under contacts and prospects. All right, you guys, so that is your searching in CMA class. So today we went through all the advanced searches and the benefits. I showed you the difference between our quick and our standard search. Remember, you can add those custom search fields to your custom search, can really save you time. We have that radius field, which you can absolutely search around schools, like a private school or a daycare, your customer's place of business, that really awesome little address search. Remember, you can search by 10 addresses at a time. We can do listing number search, assessor parcel number search. You can absolutely go into an open house search and save, or even you saw I showed you quickly how to schedule an open house. And you can view agents and offices. Then from the interactive map search, what we did is we came in, and I'm just going to pull this up as a recent search just so I can recap. We pulled up this subject property by address here. I then drew around this area, added some criteria here. Remember, I added active, pending, and closed. I did my living area. And then once I was done, I went to displays and I went to one line grid so I could pull up all those comps. From there, we viewed multiple different CMA options. And those options that we had today within the Prospector Plus system was your CMA Portrait, your 2-line, your 3-up, and we just went over the CMA package. And again, I know I just went over it, but lastly, you access your CMA package under Contacts and Prospects, and you will go right into the group that you added them to. And remember, this is right here, the little blue CMA. This is where you will click on to view it right here to the right. So this is where you will always pull it up right here. Now, again, if you want to make your own group, your own CMA groups, you just go into manage groups and you can make as many as you'd like. All right, you guys. Hey, thank you so much for your time today. I truly appreciate it. I love sharing this stuff with you and showing you how to get the most out of our system and what it has to offer.